Welcome to day 8 in Washington State. And it looks like crappy Washington State. Yep. Hey everybody, it's me, Cynical Italian. It is a Wednesday. We have 2 more days here, 1 more full day today, and then full day tomorrow, Thursday, and then we leave early in the morning, Friday morning, and head to Reno. Hopefully, get out of this shit-ass Pacific Northwest weather. This is why I moved away. 100%, this is why I moved away. So anyways, I'm down here. Got to clean out the car, get us loaded up. So today on the agenda, we got to go sign some papers this morning, and then I think we're going to go just maybe to breakfast, drive around, do some stuff, just some old school sightseeing stuff, and then we're going to head south about 45 minutes to Longview, Washington to see one of my oldest, longest, best friends in the world and the godfather to my daughter Gianna that you've seen in the videos, Adam. So we'll get Adam a little bit on the camera. We've got a small window to see Adam because of the hours that he works. So we've got a couple hours to see him this afternoon. So right now, like I said, it is about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's about 48 degrees, raining, cold. I haven't seen my breath in years. I'm wearing jeans, which I haven't worn jeans in basically 12 years since we moved to Phoenix. We do live in Texas now, and that's a joke. I wear pants once in a while, but I wear lots of joggers. I haven't worn jeans since living up here, really. Like special occasions or super cold days, I'll put on a pair of jeans. But since we've been up here, I've had jeans on like 3 times of the 8 days. I don't like wearing jeans anymore. I know that's a weird thing. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. This is the beginning of part 2 of our trip to Washington State. And then from here we go to Reno, then Vegas, then Albuquerque, and then home. So, let's get going. Got to clean the car first, though. Okay, so here's a weird thing. I'm going to show you this. Might gross some of you out, but it's a weird thing because I left Washington in 2015. And so it's been 11 years. And you don't see worms. Like down in Arizona and even in Texas, I don't ever see worms. In Washington, they were everywhere. I just was walking around. Here you go, look. Big old gnarly worms just crawling across the parking lot. There's 1. There's 2. I think I saw another one over here. There's 3. There's probably a bunch more around here. But you just don't see those where we've been the last 11 years. You don't see worms. Creepy. Oh yeah, there's another one. There's another one right there. So that's 4, and that's just right here in front next to the car. 5. I think I might have just stepped on that one. So yeah, so they're everywhere. But a creepy story. So certain times of the year, it'll mist like this overnight, and if you're really quiet, and it's a full moon, and you walk out into like a big grass yard, and if you can walk out, you have to be like super like fairy toes. Like you can't put any pressure, any weight, or any movement on the ground. But if you can go into a big grass yard, and if you can sneak into it and jump in the yard, when you hit the ground, you'll hear, and it sounds like the most disgusting. It's a suction sound, like a, and it's all around you, and you can feel the ground moving. And that's all the worms that are half sticking out of the ground in the middle of the night. suck back into the earth, and we're talking hundreds, thousands of them around you in the grass, and just by stomping, it tremors the ground, and they suck back in, and you can feel the ground move underneath you. It's crazy. I can see people being grossed out by that, but hey, I'm only telling you the truth about what it's like to live in Washington State. Anyways, there's worms everywhere. So, I just haven't seen worms. I haven't seen big giant earthworms just wandering around like this. In 15 years, I can see 3, 4, 5. I see bunches of them. They're all over the place. My son Nico has never seen a worm before, so I might bring him down here and watch him freak out. Well, see, so that is the reaction that my son has every time he walks outside. Bro! It's freezing cold here.
I'm over here with no coat.
Yeah.
I forgot it.
Nico.
No, my earbud.
Hey, Nico, what's this? What's this?
Let's see what Daddy's got.
Stop, stop, stop.
It's a weird looking worm.
What is that?
He does not like it.
You want to touch it?
Come here. Watch. Ready?
We're gonna touch it.
Here's another one.
Why are they everywhere?
Because it's water. They like water.
You don't like them, baby? You scrunched.
See? I told you. Worms are not a normal thing where we've been for the last 15 years.
Look, there's
For me,
another one.
this was every day, worms.
Dad, come here. This one's huge.
Yeah, that's the first one I saw. Go into the water.
Yeah, let me give you a boost, buddy.
Nicolo doesn't know what to think of them.
Oh, look.
That's a worm. Hey, you stop right there. Don't move. Here we are in
That is a hole.
Oh, jeez. I almost just died.
Rainier, Oregon. Tiny little town. Main road's up there. We just had kind of a brunch here at the Cornerstone Cafe. It's my brother from another mother. What's up? So, right over there, you can kind of see it. That is the Columbia River. So what you see on the other side there is Washington State. And so we're just over the river. We're going to go check out a little park. I'll show you the river here in a second. Rainier Park, Rainier, Oregon. Little town. I would say seaside. It feels like a seaside town. It is not a seaside town. It is a riverside town. That right out there, we're going to get a little closer, and you will see the Columbia River. Yeah. See the big ships, the big boats. So that's my pretty much brother Adam. He works at the mill across those big buildings over across the river. You guys can play. I'm going out towards the water.
One. Yep.
The mighty Columbia River.
The mighty Columbia. So this river is so big and so deep that yes, the big ships do travel. So headed that direction, you're going inland. All of that you see over there, that's Washington State. We are standing on
Mouth of the Cowlitz River.
Oregon Grand, and that's Cowlitz River's over there, right?
Yeah, that's the mouth of the Cowlitz there.
So that comes in, but that way is all Columbia River. But if you look, you come this way, see these giant ships. And that tall ass bridge, that's Lewis and Clark Bridge, that takes you from Longview, Washington on that side to Rainier, Oregon on this side. So yeah, beautiful. It is windy and cold. When it is sunny here, it is absolutely gorgeous. And that happens maybe 1 or 2 days a year. You end up being a water duck like this fucker right here. Anyways, we'll get back to it. Quaint little towns. Like I said, these feel like seaside towns, but they're not. It's a river. That way, if you keep going that way, it takes you out. About how far out? 2 hours?
Oh no.
2 hour?
Yeah,
That direction?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Get you out to the ocean.
And then the first dam upstream is Bonneville, and that's got locks, and you can take these big ships all the way up to Idaho.
So here we are back up in Centralia, Chehalis, Washington, from after our trip down to Oregon to see my buddy Adam. But I was running around and I was doing something, and I realized driving by here. So Centralia is that way, if I'm not making you dizzy. Chehalis is right around the corner there. But in between, so here in the Northwest, there are places like bazaars. They're big, giant buildings. Kind of like malls, but they were from back in the old days. That were these big mega buildings. That's where you came and did all your shopping. Well, this place is Pacific Northwest famous. This is Yardbirds, and there are a couple of these types of places. This one was super famous up here. The other one was up in Tacoma, Washington, called the B&I. And the B&I was famous because it had a chimpanzee monkey. Oh, hey, stop. Got some military choppers. That's always cool, right? Always cool to see that. Anyways, the B&I in Tacoma was famous for it had a water slide in it. And there was a Ivan the gorilla was housed inside there. So when we moved here back in 1991, Yardbirds was going strong, and it is this massive building. And it keeps going. It's huge. It's as long as that is, that's also how wide it is. And this was one of the places where you came to shops, where you got all your tire services down there. The movies was over here. This was a place. What this place was really famous for was the Yardbird. Now, what is this? What's even crazier about what this is this was actually built as a garage. Are you ready for this? This is no joke. That was built as a garage for the owner of Yardbirds. That's where he would park his helicopter when he flew in from his farmland out there in the woods and would fly in to oversee his property. He would fly in and land, and then it would sit on carts and the wings would fold, and he would slide his helicopter inside the butt, and that was where he parked his helicopter for the day. And then at the end of the day, they would roll his helicopter back out into the parking lot, spread the wings, and he would fly off into the mountains over that way to his property. Yeah, so this is the famous Yardbird. It's all fully closed now. You can't go past those yellow barriers. Technically, it's against the law. It's trespassing. So, but I thought I would show this. This is one of those famous crazy things. And the other thing is that when it does flood here, this is super known for flooding. This area floods, and when I mean floods, it floods. All of this is all swamp area, and so when it floods, all of this goes underwater. It's all is buried underwater. Some of the biggest floods in the Pacific Northwest in the last 50 years, there's been like 3 of them, catastrophic floods, and they've all come through here and just decimated everything that you see. So, anyways, that's a fun little something. That's the Yardbird up there. All right. There's not much more of today. I'm kind of just going to go chill at the hotel. And then we're going to get up early tomorrow morning and head to Seattle. So that'll be a fun day. So I lied. I am going to film just a little bit more. Here we are driving into downtown Chehalis, Washington again. If you remember, we were here. We came through it. We were going the other way in the first video that we did. We came through, headed this direction, opposite of what we're going now. So this time we're coming into it, which is going to bring us down another way. Because I wanted to show you something. But starting with this building right here, this is Callison's. This is where they make the mint, and Wrigley's gum is made right inside this building, which in the summertime makes the city of Chehalis smell amazing because it smells like mint. But that is the mint factory, Callison's Mint Factory, and again, that's where they make the flavoring and mint, and where they actually make Wrigley's gum. So yeah. Now on the Yardbird, I don't know that I'll be able to show you, but right here is the historic train station, and there is another one of the Yardbirds guys tucked right up in there. That is another one that came from the building and they moved it over here. But right here around this corner, this is kind of a special thing in my history, and that is because right here, this building right here was the site of my nightclub. That's right, this was it. So this actually, I started inside this. Don't let those eyes freak you out. That's actually a painting on the wall across the street, which has always been there. But this corner building right here, and the door's right there. So I started in this little corner section, and I started off as a little cafe. And it was called Bruno's Villa, and it was my little cafe shop where I sold Italian sandwiches, hot dogs, and ice cream. And in the middle, so there was 3 buildings here. There was 3 businesses here. So that was, my door was right there where that window is. That was the door to my cafe. And then this door right here opened up, and you opened up into a tiny little entry, and then there was another door that went this way, and that was the Little Nicolawads, and then on the end was a clothing store. Well, I started down there on that end of the building, and then the Little Nickel moved out, and so I took that space and knocked out the wall and made it a big space, and and then switched to a pub, so I had beer and wine. And then the clothing store moved out, and I took that space and knocked out another wall, and then it became Bruno's nightclub. And so this whole thing was my old nightclub. This is Bruno's. This whole building, this was my building. And yeah, I miss it. But now it is Stout Coffee House. Now it looks like they've done some beautiful renovations inside and knocked out all the walls and opened it all up, and it looks pretty awesome in there. Yeah, somebody spent a lot of money renovating the inside. But anyways, that was my right here on the corner of Boisfort Boisfort and Pacific. Yeah, that was my nightclub. When I got tired of making money for everybody else, that was where I built my own nightclub and went from there. So yeah, just another fun little thing about my past. And so that was back from 2010 until 2013. That was me. That was my club. That was my spot. Sweet.